What's up, Juggernauts? In this video, we're going to be discussing this 17,000 square foot property, how I picked it up, how we leveraged it to get 7 other clients in this neighborhood in one ad post, as well as why we are dropping this area and mowing tips on this particular property.
Now's the time to hit that stupid little subscribe button.
Your Majesty, I simply don't do it.
Come on, you do it. You do it.
No, I don't.
You want to do it. We all do it. We love to do it. I just did it and I'm ready to do it again. Don't tell me you don't do it.
Alright, so I picked up this property way back in 2016 or 2017, and so I can't really remember exactly how I picked up this property. I believe it was through a Facebook post, and it could have been with a door hanger. We used to canvass this neighborhood quite a bit. Since then, they put up no soliciting signs, and while that does not mean that we cannot advertise in the neighborhood, it does mean that we have PETA residents in the neighborhood that just make it an absolute pain. They'll call the cops every time that you come out. So anyways, I picked this up either from a door hanger or from Facebook. Now, what I do know for sure is that I used this property to gain 7 other lawns off of one ad post, and this is how it went. So the first thing we needed for this was an opportunity to use social proof. So the first thing you need to do is, if you have a client, offer them an awesome service to the point that they will talk about you. And the way you do that is just take care of their needs, make sure that they're not having issues. If they do have an issue, address it immediately. If they're worked up about it, be worked up with them. Be there for your clients, even when you feel like, oh man, I could have done better. Step up and be by far ahead of the game as far as service goes, and you will get a glowing review. In this case, it happened organically, where the customer actually sent me a really good message that just said, hey, we were doing an awesome job, and it was, really went in and was like a solid paragraph about what we had done that was so awesome for them. If you want to speed up this process, because organically this, you'll get some good feedback, hey, you're doing great, love it, this and that. But if you want to speed up that process, all you have to do is ask your customer for a review. Hey, a 5-star review would really help us out, and then you can send them a link to a Google Maps listing or whatever it might be, and then you can take screenshots of your reviews there and use that for the post. It doesn't really matter. But if it's in the neighborhood that you're targeting, ideally that is awesome. In this case, I am actually in the Facebook group for this community. A lot of communities, HOAs, or even in your small town may have a Facebook group. So say you're in small town Texas with 4,000 people. There's probably a Facebook group for that community. And all you have to do is get one member of that community to give you an awesome glowing review that you can then take a screenshot of and be able to make a post with that. So that's step 1, okay? Social proof, a screenshot of a glowing review. You've done this for another client, it was awesome, and you're going to do it again for another client, okay? They want to know they're not the first person and they're not putting a risk if they use your company. Step 2, you want to make a video. I know it's kind of hard for some people to put their face in front of the camera, but the thing is, if somebody can see who they are buying from, that breaks the ice on it. They know right away what you look like, what to expect. It's not a mystery anymore, because the thing is, when you post an ad that's just words, they don't really know who that is and they can't make a connection. But if you say, hey, I was working in your neighborhood today, and Barbara over here, that's not the client's name, but Barbara over here said we did a wonderful job, I want to be able to do an awesome job for you. Okay, so you introduce it and you say it that way. And you say, social proof, Barbara, throw out that name. This person said we did an awesome job. We want to do the same for you, and we want to give you the opportunity to try out our company and experience our service. Something along there. You can word it however you want, but something along those lines. And then what you want to do is you want to add in a call to action. Okay, why do they want to call you? What value? It could be a certain price. So say, what's crazy is I used to sell in these neighborhoods for $35, and I would have a hard time selling them using a door hanger, and like I would get people price shopping and wanting it lower than $35. But when I put it in this ad post and I set it as $35, hey, if you call me by, and I put a call to action time, okay, so I put an incentive on pricing, and then I put a call to action on the time, and I said if you call me by Friday at 5 p.m. Now don't do this on, say, Thursday or Friday itself. Do this like on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, and say Friday at 5 p.m. Why Friday at 5 p.m.? It's the end of the day. It's the end of the work week. Call me by Friday at 5 p.m. Call me by Friday at 7 p.m. Okay? In this case, I didn't even say call me. I said send me a text or a message, okay? Because I put it on Facebook, so Messenger. Message me your name, phone number, email address. Your name, phone number, address, and email address. Because those are the 4 things I need to onboard a client. I always need that. And what happens is if you only ask, hey, send me your name and address, well, you have a hard time getting the phone number. You have a hard time getting the email. Let them know right away. This is what it takes to be my client. If you want this sweet deal, this awesome deal, call me by Friday at 5 p.m. and y'all cut your lawn for X amount of money. It's a no-brainer, okay? I'll cut your lawn for an X amount of money. All you have to do is text me your name, phone number, address, and email, and I will onboard you into my system, and I'll set you up on a scheduled date. We come through your area on blah, blah, blah days, okay? It sounds like a lot there, but you can literally spew all that out in about 20 or 30 seconds and have an awesome, very clear message that sounds professional and something that somebody really wants to go with, and they will understand the value behind it when they hear your clarity that this is how you're doing it, this is the way, when they hear that you want those things and they can see how streamlined it is, then they understand the value of your service. So if you say $35, and at the time that I ran this ad, I ran the ad for $35. Now the lawns were not this size. They were not 17,000 square foot lots. The lawns in this neighborhood are half lots. So you see where this fence is in this video? That's where a yard would normally stop. A 7,000 square foot lot with the lawn being a small portion because the house is taking up about 50% of the property. So, pretty easy there. Okay? So, for me, we can be in and out on those type of properties within about 10 minutes. Okay? So, $35, we can make we can make money on those lawns, but that's not what this is about. You could even go lower or whatever and say $20 for your first cut or whatever it might be. It doesn't really matter. An incentive that's low enough that forces them to call is a no-brainer. For me, it's $35 per service. Why is it something that they jumped on? Well, now I understand that in the same areas that I was cutting, I'm actually cutting those same lawns for $50 and plus. Okay? So, large corner lots, middle of the road lots, whatever, it didn't matter. I'm going to take it on for $35. Call me by then. And you might worry, am I going to get something big? Because I worried, oh man, only people with corner lots are going to call me. But I then adjusted my thinking and said, okay, well, that gives me that many more properties in that neighborhood that people will have their eye on me. By the way, I only got one corner lot on that, and it's one of the easiest ones I have. I don't know why it's quicker. I don't know why it's easier. It just seems to fly smoother than the other ones, and it normally takes less time. Sometimes certain lawns, they just go quick, okay? So that's how I ran that Facebook ad. It worked very well, and like clockwork, they just started flooding in, and it was like 2 the first day, 3 the next day, and then bing, 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 I got some more, okay? So I've done a lot of ads in the past. I've done a lot of door hangers, And I've tried picking up leads several different ways. That was one way that I did it that was incredibly successful, that I plan on replicating in the future as much as possible to try to expand my business fairly quick. Next year we plan on making a lot of changes, and we will be taking on more accounts. The closer they are, the better. Even if you're in a small town, the closer your accounts are, the better. If you're in the residential game, if you're in commercial and you have a bigger dollar amount, yeah, absolutely you can drive around. But if you're talking about $35 to $50 lawn cuts, they need to be close. You cannot drive across town and go, well, I made good money on this one for the time spent on it, but that drive time costs you a lot of money. So, make those ads work for you to keep everything nice and tight. Now, the other thing you could do, which I cannot do in this neighborhood, it really all depends on the neighborhoods. This one's an HOA, and I cannot put lawn signs in the yard. But if you could pick up clients and you can put a lawn sign in the yard, a banded sign, I believe the ones I get are like 18 by 24. I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe it's 11 by 18. I'm not too sure. They're like the mid-size. They're not the huge ones. But I put banded signs in and say my business name and my phone number. And that is another form of social proof. Anytime that you can prove that person there, that person there, that person there, that person over there, they all use my service and they like me. Why are you not using me? That's the message that you are getting when you brand your name out there. When you see Coca-Cola nonstop, yeah, they're branding their name, but that's the social proof they want. They want to see, people with the product in their hand. So, whenever you see a video and they're selling some kind of product, say it's like Beats headphones, what did you see on those commercials? You see celebrities with that product in their hand, or they see consumers with whatever product and they're using it. For us, we're selling a service. What do we want to show? We want to show the neighbors, yes, this neighbor here is using our service. That same neighbor, or that other neighbor over there on this same block, is also using this service. All those things build up and they compound over time. So don't think that you're going to do one thing and then it's going to work right away. Just know that you're going to have to try a few things out here and there, and it will get to where you're finding something that works best for you. So, use what you see other people doing that works, I guess. I mean, for me, a long time when I was doing like lawn care flyers and door hangers, I would look at other people's flyers and door hangers, and I would just kind of gauge mine on them. And the thing is, it was all emotional and what's in my head. Does that work? Does that look good? I like that. I don't like that. Try to invest time into studying marketing, but not only what your competition is doing, but what other people are doing, and then play with the marketing and tweak it until it works better. And you just have to test it out and try it out. So when I first started, I did Craigslist ads because Craigslist was, not dead back then. But I did Craigslist ads, and I would test out, ads with pictures and ads without. Well, it turns out, obviously, an ad with a picture works much better. I would try different types of ways to type in the title. Lawn care service, lawn care mowing, lawn mowing in Tulsa, different things. And so, you want to do the same thing on your Facebook ad or your lawn care and flyer ad. So like my door hanger that I ran for a couple of years, I bought them in bulk. I bought a whole bunch of them. So at this point, the only choice I have is to throw them out. But what have I learned from using that door hanger over several years? Well, I've learned that I get a lot of calls for weed control, taking care of weeds in the lawn. And what do I not offer in my service? Taking care of weeds in the lawn. So that's something that I need to, address in my marketing, change, and communicate my message better to my potential client. Now, as far as moving on to this lawn here and talking about mowing tips, because I said I was going to do that in the beginning, I do want to say this back lot is it's a mess. It's one of those lawns that it holds a lot of water. I've been cutting it for years. It's rutted up. It was rutted up when I took it on. I changed my patterns, but there's not much you can do about a lawn that's rutted when it's already rutted. I just have to kind of deal with it and contend with it, and you know, it is what it is. It's a chicken coop, and it's an added part onto the yard that they don't actually use. They're not too picky about it, so that's a blessing. But you know, still, it's kind of enjoyable to mow. It's pretty relaxing. I like to listen to sermons on this one. Not that, you know, this particular lawn is like a sermon type lawn, but normally I'm cutting this one in the morning, and I like to listen to In Touch Ministry podcast in the morning. And you can download that app on your phone to listen to that. But I listen to Charles Stanley's In Touch Ministry, and I normally listen to that about 2 or 3 times in the morning. It's normally about a 20-minute little sermon. And what I've found is that when I listen to something once, whether it's a book or a sermon or somebody talking about, you know, how to do something, if I'm wanting to consume the information, I always have to listen to it more than once, because I find that my mind drifts off. And that's just, I believe that's human nature, and that's something that I do a lot, and something that I struggle with to try to stay on track and stay focused. Kind of like this conversation right now. But having said all that, I will find myself listening the first time and then drifting off, and not necessarily a negative thing, just kind of drifting, thinking about this or that or whatever. But then I'll listen to the next one, and I'll catch something I didn't hear the first time, and that it's just it always opens my mind a little bit to how I want to progress in the day, and keep God in mind as I keep growing, and keep the Lord in my heart for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you haven't, please subscribe and check out the next video.